Alright, so we've all been there. The dreaded group project where everyone has to present together. It's basically a social experiment where you throw a bunch of random people together and see who takes charge, who panics, and who just exists as a decorative plant. Let's break down the types of people you'll always find in school presentations. First of all, we got the overachiever. This one's the group MVP every single time. They've got color-coded flashcards, the pie charts, and a whole PowerPoint template that looks like it belongs in a TED Talk. They're the type who emails the teacher for feedback before the presentation just to make sure that we're on the right track. Oh, and during the actual presentation, they're standing front and center, laser pointer in hand, acting like they're pitching $1 million idea on Shark Tank. If you mess up on one slide, you can feel their eyes burning into your soul. And he has every right to do so. He might be pissed at you, but you best believe you deserve it, bro. Guy carried your ass off in a project that you didn't even know was happening today and got you an A? Are you kidding? You gotta pay this guy back in whatever social role you fill in school. If you're the popular guy who throws parties, you better give this kid an invite. If you're the school drug dealer, well, I mean, at least give him some free product. If you're the top gamer in the school, you better carry this guy to top 500 North America. But yeah, some guys are nonchalant about the fact that they've literally done your entire assignment for you. Other guys will not stop bringing it up for the rest of the year. Either way, you should thank him because you got a good grade for something that you didn't deserve. All right, next up, we got the exact opposite of the overachiever, the I'll just read my slide guy. Why are you here? Like, genuinely, this person puts the bare minimum effort into their section. Their slide is just a block of text straight off Wikipedia, and when it's their turn to talk, they just read it, word for word. Zero eye contact, zero confidence, zero will to live. Everyone in the class is zoning out, and the teacher is just giving that disappointed nod like, I expected nothing, and you still let me down. I mean, I guess there is a world where someone is part of your group and does nothing. And while this is better than nothing, I think a lot of people, if they had known the kind of work you were going to put into it, would have just done it themselves. I don't want to roast this guy too hard because I've been this guy before, and I think a lot of the people watching this have been this guy before. As a matter of fact, not to get too meta, but I bet you there's someone watching this video right now instead of doing the project they were assigned. So even though we've all been in the position where we've basically just done the bare minimum to get a passing grade, it's worth considering that if you were ever trying to make friends with anybody from your group, that opportunity has thrown itself out the window. All right, next up, we got the nervous wreck. This person starts talking and immediately you feel secondhand embarrassment. Their hands are shaking, their voice is barely louder than a whisper, and they're tripping over words like it's an Olympic event. It's not that they didn't prepare, it's that everything falls apart the second they have to speak in front of people. You can tell they're counting the seconds until it's over. They keep glancing at the teacher nervously or their group mates, hoping that someone will jump in and save them. And the unfortunate reality is nobody does. They're watching the shit show and they're grabbing popcorn. What makes it worse is that they will lose their place in the notes and pause for way too long, mumbling shit like, hold on, awkwardly shuffling through their papers like they're searching for the meaning of life. They'll be awkwardly shuffling through their paper to try to find where they were, and it takes like 30 seconds. For some reason, their awkwardness and inability to speak somehow infects everything else about the presentation. Like, if they have a video embedded into their slideshow, you know they're gonna struggle to get it to play for some reason. Like, how is that possible? There's always this awkward moment of fumbling with the mouse, whispering like how do I full screen this? By the end of their section, the whole class is collectively holding their breath, silently begging for it to end. Bonus points for this guy if they apologize mid-presentation for something that wasn't even a problem. Halfway through an actual point, they're like, sorry guys, I'm really nervous. Like, yeah, I know, we can tell. I think everyone gets naturally a little nervous whenever they're public speaking, but we always knew that one kid who would be like a near meltdown whenever he had to present. Next up, we got the comedic relief. This person doesn't see the presentation as a school assignment. It's their chance to audition for SNL. They're cracking jokes, throwing in memes, and completely derailing the flow of the presentation. Doesn't matter if the topic is photosynthesis or the Great Depression, they'll somehow find a way to make it funny. They're the ones adding pictures of fucking Shrek to their slides or sneaking in a D's nuts joke mid-sentence.
These nuts. Got him. Got him.
And let's not forget their impeccable timing. Just when the teacher looks like they're about to lose patience, they hit the class with a joke and it lands perfectly, leaving half the room crying with laughter and the other half nervously glancing at the teacher to gauge her reaction. They're also a pro at roasting the group, and here's my slide because I was the only one who actually did the work. Next, we'll hear from Jake, who definitely Googled this 5 minutes ago. The best part is they know exactly how far they can push it. They'll throw in a risky joke, then immediately backpedal with a nervous laugh if the teacher raises an eyebrow. But every now and then, then they overshoot. Bro, we had a kid who just straight up made a 9/11 joke, and I don't think he realized that the teacher was alive and well for 9/11. Saying something like the Twin Towers were the ultimate game of Jenga. Bro, what? You're gonna get suspended. It's kind of crazy. I don't know. Some of them take it too far, but a lot of the time, these guys know what they're doing. But here's the thing. While they're keeping the class entertained, the rest of the group is sweating bullets. Like, you can see the overachiever silently mouthing, "Stick to the script," while the nervous wreck looks like they're about to pass out. When it's all said and done, the comic relief is the one that everyone remembers. The jokes might not help the grade, but they do make the 7-minute presentation feel like 3 minutes, and honestly, that's a win in my book. Alright, next up we got the fashion statement. Now this one's mostly applying to girls, but this person treats the presentation day like it's the Met Gala. While everyone's walking in with hoodies and sneakers, this person's pulling up like they're about to close a business deal. Think perfectly pressed dress shirts, polished shoes, or maybe even like a tie or a blazer. If it's a girl, she's got on like a full business skirt, heels, face full of makeup that she spent 2 hours doing. It's crazy, man. And don't get me started on how extra they are with like their props. Like, why you got a clipboard, you know? Like, why do you have a laser pointer? Here's the thing though, it is kind of a cheat code. If you haven't really done that much work and you show up like you mean business, listen, the teacher's gonna read on that. Teacher gonna compliment her saying something like, "Wow, you look so professional." Meanwhile, the rest of the group is dying inside like, "Cool, can we focus on the fact that your slide had a typo?" It's crazy. Like, the teacher has, you know, different classes with different students that she's managing, and she doesn't know how much work you are putting into the slides, but if you show up looking like you mean business, she's just gonna assume you put the same amount of effort into the project. Ironically, it's the case where the person who looks like the most shit and is dressed the worst has probably put the most effort into it because they just spent all night doing the other people's work for them. Alright, next up we got the tech genius. This guy is like a grandmaster in Google Slides. He is the group's saving grace. They handle like all the animations, the transitions, they embed videos, GIFs, resources, whatever. It's like Steve Jobs just resurrected to help people out here. You got shit that like just doesn't improve the slides too, but you just have it because it's like a technology flex. Like random sound effects, spinning text. It actually just derails the focus of the class. But this person has the gift of being able to look like he's working because he's like doing transitions for the slides and stuff when he's actually done no research for the topic at hand. Out of all the people I mentioned, I connect with this guy the most because I was like a computer nerd and I figured out how to set up slides. I didn't really do anything besides go to the other people's slides and add like a border around all their text and change like font sizes and stuff. I literally did nothing. Alright, next up we got the last minute hero. This person does everything at the last minute, but somehow they manage to pull it off. They'll show up to the presentation like, "Okay, what's my part again?" And then they wing it like a seasoned pro, and it's frustrating because they did zero preparation, yet they sound more confident than the overachiever. They're the type to whisper to the group right before their section, "What's the topic again?" and still deliver a smooth, effortless spiel that makes everyone wonder if they're secretly a genius or just incredibly lucky. The guy sitting next to him is super nervous. He's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "What do you mean? It's presentation day." Guy's like, "Oh shit," opens up his laptop and speed runs his slide with effortlessness. Anyway, though, those are the kind of people that you're going to see during a school presentation. If I missed any, let me know. Let's do 10,000 likes for a part 2, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.